Welcome, welcome. You listen to 360 Info. I'm your host, Antonio. Welcome, nation people. Welcome, nation people. We got a great show for you today. But first, I want you to take a mental note, or you can jot it down too. TheFreedomMonth.com. TheFreedomMonth.com, so you can get a rundown of all the events that are going on in the month of June, given by the Carter G. Wilson Project. So we want you guys to come on first out the gate, y'all, June 4th. Tri-C Eastern Campus, Professor James Small. Come on out, give me a call, get your tickets, see the brother get out. You know this brother do what he do. So it's a pleasure bringing him back to our city. So let's take advantage of it. The tickets is only $15. Doors open at 2:30 to about 6. Come on out, Eastern Campus. Parking is easy, free. You know, hey, we're going to have a good time. And then the June 8th, we're going to have We the People Roundtable for these folks who's all political, want to get more blacks on the job, want to understand your constitutional rights. We got Calvin Williams. We got Judge Michael Nelson. You know, we got James Hardiman. All these brothers and sisters are going to be there to have a discussion about your rights and how to get more blacks on the jobs and things like that. It's not a bash. It's a good discussion. So come on out. Give me a call, 216-323-6155. 216-323-6155. Come see Professor James Small. And in the remote studio, we got our main man, Brother Vince. What's going on?
Beautiful day outside, and we are moving forward with things. We are waiting to hear from Mary Oluonye. She's on the other side of the world in Ghana, and she's got some exciting news to share with us about travel to the other side of the world, and we are anxious to hear what she has to say. Also, just want to let everybody know we're doing concerts at Larchmere Arts now. So tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, depending on your perspective, at 6 p.m., we're going to welcome the Glenn Holmes Quartet. He's got Seth Jones playing guitar. Johnny Cochran Jr. is playing saxophone. Paul Samuels, who you may or may not know, is actually the husband of Lady Skill. He is a very skilled drummer, and he's going to be holding down the skins for Glenn Holmes, the bassist. Glenn did a concert with myself and Okanta and Ismail Douglas, Chuck Orange, and Ken LeGrand at Kent State University a couple of Saturdays ago. And we'll be coming back to Kent State for the Juneteenth festival that they're going to have on June 18th. So Professor Smalls on the 4th, and then at Kent State University, we're going to be doing what we do there. And Brother Lynn, Brother Antonio, I'm sure you've got some great stuff planned for Juneteenth as well. So looking forward to the next month and just navigating this month. If those of you who are out there who are into astrology didn't know, we're smack dab in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. So if some communication issues are going on right now, that's probably what it is. Anyway, all good in the hood, and glad to be back on in the air. What's going on in your world, brother?
Well, it's the same thing. You know, it's like I say, something wrong with me, Vince. And the reason I say that is that I'm just so locked in tune to things that are going on with our people, the planet, the cosmos, and things like that. So I don't have much time and besides work and looking forward to retirement, much entertainment. I'm going to try to get out more this year and get some of Mother Nature and based in the sun and nature and take it in. But what I'm saying all that to say is just the energy that is going on right now on the planet really has me, has my sensors going. My spider sense is tingling, as you might say, or whatever, and just wonder what direction that we're going in as a people and things like that. So that's why, again, where we're trying to set up at Dr. Whitaker School's Wings Academy on June 12th, this prayer, this mass prayer piece, meditation, where you can maybe, put some good energy out there to try to change that energy and things like that. So, it's just staying in tune, Vince, to what's going on in our city, in our country, on the planet, to see what direction we're going on, and try to plot a good course.
Yeah. Well, what I'm seeing in our community in general and society in large, just based on many interviews that I do and conversations that I have, is that people are doing things within their own respective realms to make a difference. In the past couple of days, I've had conversations with a few people and witnessed different podcasts. To give you an example. Last week, I documented an interview with Waverly Willis. I don't know if you're familiar with Waverly. Waverly is a barber here in Cleveland. He actually has 3 shops. He just recently opened one over on the west side. I think it's on Lorraine. But his story is one of a triumph over extreme adversity. The brother, first of all, he weighed 400 pounds. So carrying around all that weight is a burden in and of itself. But in addition to that, Brother Waverly was a drug dealer. And as he tells the story, he violated the cardinal rule of drug dealing, and that is rule number one. And I think Notorious B.I.G. did it in the 10 Crack Commandments. I don't know if you remember that cut.
No.
But the number one rule is don't get high on your own supply.
High on your own supply. That's what I thought you were going to say. Yeah, go ahead.
And he made that mistake. And as a result of that, he became a full-blown addict. And in addition to all of that, he was homeless. And he wasn't the type of homeless where, you sleeping on somebody else's couch every other night or, that type of thing. His homelessness was sleeping out on the street and eating out of dumpsters. Waverly went from that to finally checking into a homeless shelter. He said he ran a bath with the water as hot as he could stand. And he got in the tub, and he just saw all of this filth just come out of him. And he made a promise to God. And essentially, his promise to God was, if you lift me out of this mess, I'm going to do everything that I can for other people. So this brother ended up starting barbershops, and in addition to that, becoming a health advocate. So he would have health workers present at his shop so that people could get blood pressure readings. And he could connect them with resources to address some of their physical concerns. So he took it a step further. He connected with Dr. Charles Modlin, who had the Minority Men's Health Fair a few weeks ago. And he was volunteering to help him out with that. And he wanted to have a conversation with Dr. Modlin, but Dr. Modlin was busy doing interviews and whatnot. So he decided that he would just take advantage of being there. And he did a health screening. And it was a relatively routine screening, but they discovered that he had cancer growing, I think he said, on one of his kidneys. So he eventually had to have the kidney removed. And they said if they didn't remove the kidney, then he could have lost his life. So his volunteerism literally saved his life. And so he took it to the next level. And ended up on a Nick Cannon show. I think it may have been back in February, but Nick Cannon gave him the Big Heart Award. It's this huge trophy, man. I mean, if you had a mantle, it would take up the whole mantle. It was a huge, but I said all that to say that people in their respective lives are encountering circumstances that they recover from. And when they recover from those circumstances, not only do they help themselves, but they help other people. And we've got all these people in all these different places in the world who are doing similar things, just as our friend and our mentor. Well, he's my mentor. I won't speak for you, but Dr. Whitaker, Nana Kra Kwamina II, Wings Academy. You're going to have an event there. And then over on the continent of Africa, in the country of Ghana, he is working towards creating an Afrocentric university along with the collaboration of many others, Africans, African Americans, who are all working together to move the needle forward. These are the things that we don't hear about, and these are the things that we must talk about on shows like this so that people don't get so entrenched in a glass being half empty when in actuality the glass is half full. I just received a message from Mary Oluonye. She says she's listening. She says we're connected. So why don't we go ahead and invite her into the room? But before we do that, and my apologies, Mary, I just looked at the clock and it's 11:15, so we have to take our first commercial break. So we're going to step away. You're listening to 360 Info Network with yours truly, Vince Robinson and Hamtonia. Our guest is Mary Oluonye, and she is a co-owner of Africa Homeward Bound Travels. She'll be with us in just 2 minutes. We'll be right back. 360 Info Network right after this.
Yeah, 1 second, Mary. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Mary.
Okay.
We got you.
You have me here. Yes, so I was enjoying the music. We were dancing here.
Okay. All right. That's Trombone Shorty. So did you have it on the speaker playing it for our beautiful brothers and sisters over there?
Oh, yeah, so because, I'm here, but Celestine, my partner and co-owner of our actual name of the company, Selmar Travel and Tours.
Yes.
She's here.
Okay.
We're both listening to you, and we are ready to share whatever we know with you guys.
Okay.
How are you?
Doing excellent, and I'm sure you are. Tell us where you are in Ghana right now.
Hanging out in Accra.
Oh, you're in Accra.
That's where we are.
Okay.
Where there was a complete rainstorm. What was it? A very big tropical rainstorm this morning.
Mm-hmm. Is it rainy
Yes.
season over there now?
It's rainy season.
Okay.
My favorite time of year here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the storms they kind of appear out of nowhere, and then sometimes they hit strong and hard and heavy downpours, and then 15 or 20 minutes later, they're gone.
They're gone. But this one lasted more like an hour or an hour and a half. The rain is so torrential that you can barely hear yourself think. But it's nice, rain, and it also causes the plants, everything is so green and lush.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the magic of the tropical rainstorm. But let me introduce Celestine. She's sitting here. She wants to at least greet you all.
Okay.
Hello?
Greetings, Celestine. I'm sorry I don't have your last name. Tell us what it is.
Celestine Afachao.
Okay.
Can you pronounce that?
I can pronounce it even better if I can see it written out. That really helps me out when I'm pronouncing our names. But I'll settle for Celestine. I just realized a couple of days ago that Selmar Travels was a combination of Celestine and Mary. How clever!
Yeah.
But you decided.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You decided that you needed to reinvent yourself, so you came up with Africa Homeward Bound Travels. It's pretty obvious to me, but I'll let you explain the difference for the difference in the nomenclature.
Okay. Well, Africa Homeward Bound Travels is a group, right? Because we specialize in tours of Ghana, but we are adventuresome people, too. And, there are other countries as well. So with this group we formed, we are going to be traveling, Celestine and I. We're going to take our adventuresome selves, and we're traveling to different cities in Africa, and we're inviting anybody who wants to meet us there, and we'll take care of all the logistics on the ground where we go. We're going to Senegal first, and maybe Tanzania second. Yeah. So we developed this group that people have to sign up for. It's like an invitation travel group. Africa bound, homeward bound, we're off. Yeah. We're tired of sitting in one place. So it's an adventuresome group. That is one of the new things we have decided to do, 2022, 2023, and so on.
Mm-hmm. So I happen to be a fan of yours, Mary. I live life vicariously through your Facebook page. And as you just put it, you are an adventurer. So I see you in different places in the world with your feet kicked up and just enjoying life. Tell us about the birth of this adventuristic spirit that you have and how it led to the creation of Selmar Travels.
Well, Selmar Travels. Okay, so you know how I was born in the, okay, no, I was born in the USA. But, you know, by age, 3 to 6 months, I was already in Nigeria because, you know, I'm Nigerian first, American second, so we're Nigerian. And so all my life I've traveled between Nigeria and the U.S. And, you know, Africa for me feels like home. It absolutely is home. There's nowhere like it. So I'm always drawn to Africa. I'm always drawn to adventure. And then I met Celestine, and she's just like my sister here. And we like travel. We like people. And so when I came to visit her 1 year, and we were doing our own adventures, right? Yeah. I mean, if you see where Celestine and I went, and we got lost, but we made it. We traveled all over this country on our own, and someone told us, well, go ahead. Why not, you know, start your own business? And that's how Selmar started. Okay. That was the birth of Continued Adventures. We are focused on, where are we focused? Where's our focus, Celestine? You tell them.
Oh, our focus is mainly to bring our people all over the world to know Africa, you know. They have to know Africa. Africa is a beautiful continent. It's not only about Ghana, it's about Africa. So Selmar is born mainly to bring our sisters and brothers up there to Africa. Yeah, that's our main target about Selmar traveling. So.
Okay. Celestine.
Offer, you know, there's so much that people don't realize that's right here. We have it all here. It's just that I don't know why the news has not yet become global, that there's so much here in Africa. So we're passionate about Africa. So
yeah, I hear the passion in your voice, and it's really amazing to me, you know, because I'm listening to two sisters who sound like they've lived in Africa all their lives, but just happen to speak English. And you're defying the stereotype that Africans don't want to have anything to do with African Americans, but you're serving as ambassadors and encouraging people to return to Africa to experience the beauty of Africa. Mary, I just happen to know that you have Nigerian roots, even though you've lived most of your life in America. Why is it important to you that people know the beauty of the continent?
Oh, number one, we are our heritage. We are Africans, right? If in order to be whole, to be complete, to understand who you are, you better know where you come from. And we all are people of African descent. And there's a lot that we should be very proud of and that we should know. And we don't need other people teaching us about ourselves. We need to come and find out for ourselves and teach ourselves about who we are. And we are Africans, first and foremost. That's just the way it is. So I don't know if I answered the question.
I think you answered the question beautifully, and I'm sure my brother Hamtonio has some observations about what you just said. Brother Hamtonio, would you like to chime in at this point?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, it's and that's, you know, those are some of the things that we have, you know, talked about on the show regularly and preaching, and we have to look at our scholars. You know, some of the scholars like, you know, Marcus Garvey and Malcolm and, you know, several others that speak on making that connection, you know, between, you know, the two continents, you know, where we are, because we've been brought over here. And our people need to understand that, you know, our history and heritage goes way back. In the Creator's eyes, this is just, we've been brought over here, it's just a little short time. Even though some of us was already over here, but the ones that come from the West Coast and other parts, Congo, other parts of Africa, we this is just a short time. So we need to go back and experience, ourselves and find ourselves again. Sister, I just want to ask you one question. I remember something my brother told me a while ago, and this is the importance of culture and knowing who you are. And like what Dr. Amos Wilson said, that a lot of us in this country have a reactionary culture, a culture we put together based on how we've been treated in this country. But since you've been going back and forth and you had a chance to experience some of the ancient African cultures, people need to know how sometimes having that deep-rooted culture like that, how does it get you through your day-to-day life when life seems to come and just pounce on your head and make you feel all bad and not good about yourself. And talking to my other brother, Steve, he used to talk about this one sister would say that they would go back to their African roots to give them some pride and some direction and things like that. How do you find yourself doing that at times when times get hard?
For me, sometimes, but because of the way I was brought up and my foundation and my outlook at the youngest of ages, because all the way up to age 12 and then after university, I was back in Nigeria. So my foundation is more African. That's what I know. We were brought up to know who we were and are, and we are proud of who we are. So when we were in the United States, some of the trauma that African Americans undergo who have never been out and who have always been kind of oppressed and told that they are less than, I came into it being like, hey, look, I know who I am. I don't need you to tell me Jack, because I know I'm a Nigerian. I know who my people are. I can go back to my hometown. I can go to my village. My parents have instilled that kind of pride in us as we were very little. So that's what we grew up with. So some of that, those things that African Americans who have not had that opportunity, it's a little more difficult. But the thing is, it really is true when they say knowledge is power, because once you get to know who you are and you realize that all the other stuff they've been telling you is a bunch of nonsense, then you become stronger within. And when you're stronger within, then you can now, those things are not as important to you. Those jabs that the society will give you, those less than messages, they become less effective. And that's why Celestine and I, one of the things we do is we talk to younger and younger people, because we know the adults can express themselves a little better, But for the younger people, from what I see, the society is still making them feel less than. And you see all this suicide, you see all this depression in kids, you see all this withdrawal. So we have now decided, okay, we're going to go even younger and younger, because that's where it starts. So Celestine can tell you what we decided to do. Just if you want to hear a little bit of how we address this kind of problem.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear from Celestine, and I want you to expound on that, but I also want you to let us know who Celestine is, because we know everything we need to know about Mary, but we need to know about Celestine.
Let her tell you who she is. Go ahead. Tell her
Okay, Celestine, I'm one of the co-owners of Selma Travel and Tour. As Mary said already, she visited Ghana the first time. Well, I got to know Mary through my sister who was schooling in the U.S. and met Mary's mother, and then Mary's mother introduced Mary to her. And Mary, being adventurous or loving Africa, one day informed my sister that she wants to visit Ghana. Well, because she just let her sister invite her, so she informed me and I invited her. She came to Ghana. We received her as our sister. Already she's from Nigeria. Nigeria is not far from Ghana, so we are sisters. So I said, okay, let me just take you around a few places in Ghana. And went around. We came back. She said, Ghana is beautiful. So can she come with friends and sister once? And I said, okay. Can you get me a company that can take us through as a tourist? Then somebody went ahead and said, why can't you just come together and get yourself that group or that company that can be taking Mary's friends and group from the U.S. They need to know Africa. And I said, okay. Then we sat down the whole night talking about it. Then we formed Summer Traveling Tour. So I'm just one of the directors and the owner, and Mary's one of the directors and owner. Well, I am Celestine from the southern part of Ghana. I'm an Ewe. They call me Ewe. We don't speak Ewe. I'm from the southern part, from on the way going to the other border of Togo, Aflao, Abo Road. You see, so when you come to Accra, you're going to the next country, Togo. You pass through my village. You pass through my village, a highway. You pass through, drive from Accra before going to the border of Togo. So that's Celestine, that's where I'm coming from. I'm married, so I'm now Mrs. Celestine Fachao. And I have 4 kids.
Okay.
And she has, don't let her, 4 brilliant children and some identical twins at the end. And I'm telling you, these kids, there's a difference in the children. When you're on, Vince, you've been here, and you probably noticed the difference in the confidence level and independence level of the children here compared to some of the kids in the U.S. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're very brilliant, very confident, and they love their country. I will tell you, they do.
Okay.
So that's how it's seen. And then she's the if there's a soft person and there's a hard person in the business, I'm the soft one. Celestine is the one that don't mess with her.
I just want the right thing to be done, and I want it to be done, and then don't take me because I'm a woman. You dance, no, I just have it to be done as a woman. I'm proud to be a woman, an African woman. So I'm not hard. I just want the right thing to be done. That is it. So
you hear the women pride here. You hear the adventuresome women. You know, we were women in tourism. Sometimes you don't. Okay, like sometimes you hear of the tour guides, tour operators. A lot of the time it's a man you'll see. When you're talking about the scholars, sometimes, a lot of times, people defer to the men. But I'm saying that there are women out here that have something to say, effective means of implementing change, significant change. But our voices are not heard as often as the men. So, hey, Celestina and I we're stepping out there. We want our voices heard as well because we have some very innovative and I think impactful solutions to some of the problems we have. And we talk to some women that are doing some excellent work here in Ghana and all over the world, actually. So, we want to just mention that part, too.
Okay.
And you mentioned some things about... Okay, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you mentioned about like African Americans, a lot of them returning to live in Africa, and and you mentioned Nana Whitaker. Mm-hmm. We are trying to see what he's doing, where he is. I just have not had a chance to go see him yet. And then we know of some other enclaves where there are other African Americans building communities all over Ghana now. Okay. So some new groups here, they call them Repatriation Groups, and they are, one is coming next week. Where is it next week? Next week with a group, and they have a whole community planned out. So things are happening. Things have changed in the last 5 years that I've been here. I've noticed major changes going on here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So There is a repatriation community in Cape Coast. Nana Chidiwa is one of the principals in that. And I know that Nana Kwakwamana, who you know as Dr. Whitaker, he's located in the village of Atonkwa, and he's working with some brothers and sisters who are in the Asebu region. So he's working with the king in that region and a couple of the chiefs in that region. So if you're looking for him, if he's still over there, because I hear he may be headed back to the States relatively soon, but if you're looking for him between Accra and Atonkwa and Comenda, where his house is, you'll find him in one of those three places. Just wanted to talk to you about the country itself. I know that Ghana is a very diverse country. Sister talked about being from the southern part of it. I'm assuming that perhaps it's in the central region or somewhere close. And she did mention the village, but because my headphones aren't where they should be, I didn't completely hear what it or where it was. But I heard her say that you passed through that village as you were on your way to another country. I just want to talk about the diversity of that country and the things that there are to take in. You know, you were right, Mary. I have been there a few times, and I've been to different places in Ghana. I've been to the Kakum Rainforest. I've been to Asin Manso. I've been to the enslavement dungeons in Cape Coast and Elmina and other parts of the country. I haven't gone to the northern part of the country, which I hear is quite beautiful. But talk about the things that you are able to do in the country of Ghana, and we can also talk about some of the other places on the continent that you want people to experience.
Celestine, you can talk about the Ghana region now.
Oh yeah, you mentioned you've been to. All the areas you mentioned that you've been to the central region of the country. You've not been to the northern region yet, and you've not been to the Volta region, which I come from. Northern region is a very beautiful region. Anyway, they have a little bit different culture from the central and the southern. But Ghana, no matter where you're coming from, we are more sisters and brothers. So central region, Ashanti region, we have 16 regions now, if you know. Before that we have 10, and now expand to 16 regions. And we all have our various languages and tribes. But I would say we don't do things so much different from each other. You can easily eat my food. If you're from the northern region, I can easily eat your food too. The only main barrier is the language, which we can learn from each other too quickly. Northerner can learn my language, and I can also learn so far as I'm exposed to the language. But sometimes language background come in, so English is our main communication language of communication. And the only problem is you have to go to school to speak the English. And if you don't have access to education, English is a little bit difficult to communicate with. So that is why you find yourself when you don't speak my language and you don't speak English, then it's a little bit difficult for us to, but we can still do things in common. So Ghana, well, I don't have much to say about Ghana unless you. Okay, Mary will tell you more about what she experienced in Ghana.
Like I've been in Ghana, sometimes they say, I ask Ghanaians, have you been here? Have you been here? Have you been here? And some of them say no. So then I realized I've been to many places in Ghana that
more than some of the Ghanaians.
Yeah, more than some of the Ghanaians have been. Because, when you're at home, you don't explore. But when you're a visitor, then you want to explore more. I don't know if you understand that.
No, absolutely. I mean, there are people who live on the east side of Cleveland that haven't been to the west side of Cleveland. So it's not unusual that you have folks in Ghana who haven't been to other parts of the country. As a matter of fact, You have many Ghanaians who have never been to the enslavement dungeons and don't really have a reason to go there. I mean, as I understand it, the most popular tourist destination in Ghana is the Kakum Forest.
Hey, that's interesting too. But what I noticed is that they don't go to what we know of the Atlantic slave trade is different from sometimes what some of the Ghanaians might know, or even Africans in West Africa, because the trauma that happened in the trade of going on the water and then getting to the Americas or wherever they decided to take us was so traumatic. But on this end, it didn't seem as traumatic because they didn't have a full picture of what happened to their people once they got on those ships. Slavery in Africa is different from the way they did slavery in other places. So a lot of people hadn't gone, but I was there when some Ghanaians went to the castle, and it was their first time too, and they were just horrified, Like, how could human beings do that to human beings? And, it's almost like trauma because they didn't know how bad it was.
Yes.
But besides the castles, I always tell people there's so much more to Ghana. I mean, this place is beautiful, eh? We've been up in the mountains, where they do paragliding. We've had adventures going up there with the unglamorous life of a travel professional. And you meet the kindest people out in the villages. There's Nzulezo, which is a village on stilts that has existed for 600 plus years, which still has inhabitants in the hundreds, and they live over the water. That's in the western region. I love Volta because of the lake, and when you watch the river or the lake as it goes into the ocean, beautiful places. I mean, you just will be just blown away. Even a small village, I mean, it really looked like a real village. And I went for a walk one morning down a meandering path, and what did I see at the end of the path but a pristine, beautiful beach. So there are places like that all over. The north is actually like a different country because you might see some more of northern, almost, I don't know, do they have more Islam in the north?
Yeah.
Like in Nigeria, when you go north, you see more of the Islamic influence. When you go to the north in Ghana, you see more of the northern influence. Even the food, the architecture,
the buildings,
yeah.
Yes.
So it's really very diverse. But one thing I know, the people here, one of the things I like the best was the welcoming people here.
Yes.
Very much so. They're very welcome.
Yes, the saying is Kwaba. It means welcome, and it is something that you will hear more than once when you come to Ghana. I just want to underscore the fact that Ghana is a vacation destination. We those of us who have the discretionary funds to take vacations, some of us want to go to Paris, or we want to go to Rome or Greece or Italy. We want to do this exotic European vacation thing. But you need to think about going to Africa, and it's not just going to Ghana to witness the enslavement dungeons or castles, as you call them. There's so much more to that country than that, and we just want folks to know if you're thinking about traveling abroad, that's one of the places that you should go. And if you are interested, you can connect with Mary and Celestine, and they can make sure that all your accommodations are taken care of, and they'll hook you up with a fabulous tour, and you will be able to see not only Ghana but other parts of Africa. We're going to continue our conversation with Celestine and Mary on Africa Homeward Bound Travels when we return. We're going to take this time to check in at the African American Museum, and then we'll be right back right here on 360 Info Network, AM 1490, WERE. Welcome back to 360 Info Network. I'm Vince Robinson with Antonio, and our guests this morning are Mary O. and Celestine. They are the proprietors of Africa Homeward Bound Travels, and they are encouraging us to get on that bird, fly across the Atlantic Ocean, and experience the magic of what is Africa. Mary, you said things had changed a lot in the past 5 years, and I know it's been difficult. We went from the year of return and having over 1 million of us go to the continent of Africa and bring literally over $1 billion into the economic infrastructure of the continent, and specifically a lot of economic impact on the country of Ghana. Tell us how things have changed and what you can expect in terms of traveling to Africa now that was different than before.
Okay. We had the year of return, like you say, and it was so busy and people traveling so much, and Ghana was a favorite destination. Then, of course, with the pandemic, everything came to a halt. And then I traveled during the pandemic, or I still traveled. It didn't stop me, but it was rather empty. But this last time I traveled, the plane was packed. I mean, it was so packed that even they ran out of, you know how you have the overhead storage bin for carry-on luggage?
Yes.
About a third of the people had to check in their luggage. That's how packed it was. I'm like, what? But because of the pandemic, and we still have some COVID protocols at most of the airports, most of the entry points in Africa now. So Ghana is one that requires still, people coming in have to have evidence of having had the vaccine, or, I think that's it. You have to have vaccine evidence, or you're going to have to get vaccinated when you land. So that's just some of the hard parts about traveling now, because there are some people who, they don't believe in taking the vaccine, so that kind of limits how they can move around. Although sometimes I've seen some people that still somehow manage to move around in some ways and get here. But what I'm noticing since I've been back this time, I was here a year ago, but there are a lot more people here moving. They're still moving to Ghana, and a lot of people are not going back. People in the U.S. have received many calls from people who say, you know what, I have just had it. I'm leaving. I've sold everything. How can I get out of here? Where can I go? And they're going to Africa, different points in Africa. Accra to me seems, because I'm in Accra at the moment, it seems a lot more crowded, a little bit congested now. So a lot of the enclaves are being, a lot of people are building outside of the city because it can get very. You think Manhattan is expensive for a 2-bedroom apartment? There's some places in Accra where you have to pay at least $2,800 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Just so you know, the cost of living is like all over the world. It has gone up. Prices of food items gone up. Petrol has gone up, and they're thinking that sometimes there might be a shortage of food if things continue on like this. And it partly has to do with all this disruption going on in Europe, the war, Russia, Ukraine. But it's a little tougher. It's a little tougher here. But even though it's tougher here, it's a lot easier still than in the U.S. So the U.S. dollar is strong here. Can buy a whole lot more than a U.S. dollar in the United States. So people are still thinking about retiring elsewhere, and Ghana is one of the places they're coming to. So I haven't gone doing our usual travels. Celestine and I usually travel around the country when I'm here, so I'll be heading out. I'll be leaving Accra and going to, where are we going next first to explore? We're going to Winneba for 2 weeks. We're going to Winneba, where they are building another African-American enclave. That's where there are a whole lot of plots. I don't know if you've heard of Bomani Tiembe. Have you?
No, I have not.
Oh, he's huge. Huge. That one is Africa for the Africans. So they have a lot of documented land, which they divided off into plots, and people can buy plots, and they help people build. So the group that's coming in, and we're going to go see what that's all about. They're buying plots now and building.
Yes. So obviously there's quite a bit of development that's going on in Ghana. It is attractive to expats, so to speak, but, you know, based on what I know about Accra, I don't know that I'd want to live there. You mentioned Manhattan, and it is just as congested as New York City is. I know there are times when you want to get somewhere and you got to leave from Accra, you want to leave at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, because if you wait until 6 or 7 in the morning, you're going to have a difficult time getting from one place to another. I know Kumasi is a little bit the same. It's pretty congested too, but it's probably better there than it is here in some respects. And after you've had an opportunity to be around your people as you have, then you have a different appreciation for what life could be like in Ghana. I know I can remember Dr. Whitaker lecturing at Cleveland State University during one of Brother Hamtonio's events, and he described what it was like to be in Ghana, you know, how you could leave something on your porch and wake up the next morning and it would still be there. And it just resonated with me, you know, the fact that you could go to a place and the crime isn't what it is here. There are a lot of reasons to entertain possibly living somewhere other than the United States and living in a country like Ghana and others, because there are 54 other countries on the continent, and I'm pretty certain that folks over in some of those other countries would welcome you to their countries as well as Ghana. I want to commend you on the partnership because, you know, I'm getting a sense that Celestine is Ghanaian and Mary, you are Nigerian, and you have these two different countries and these two different perspectives, but you are working together to raise the consciousness of brothers and sisters over here in the diaspora about that beautiful thing that we call the motherland. I want to thank both of you for joining us on 360 Info Network. I'll be watching that Facebook page to see what those adventures are as they are unfolding, and trust and believe we will share the beauty of Africa with those who are over here who need to know. Thanks for joining us on 360 Info, all the way from Accra, Ghana.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. And if folks want to get more information about your agency, can you give them the contact information?
Oh, yes. Our contact information, you can always go to info at Celmar, CELMAR, travelandtours.com.
Okay.
That's one good place. Or you can call we also have a sister website now, which is only for Ghana tours, which is for if anyone who wants tours, they can go check it out at myghanastory.com. And you'll see all our contact information there. And you can see our Facebook. You can go to Instagram, all our social media. And I wanted to, one last thing is, once we were talking about introducing people to Africa at a younger age, we want people to know we're developing a camp for young girls, 14 to 17. We're doing our pilot this year, and they're learning about the role of women and girls in Africa, as well as learning about Ghana, because they're going to travel too.
Okay, all right.
So I throw that in too.
Okay, well, thanks for that, and we'll stay tuned in. Brother Antonio?
Just a quick thing from my brother Alan. We have a film portrayal of the play, Say His Name. We got free tickets at the Capitol Theater, 1390 West 65. Call Brother Allen if you want free tickets, 216-206-7666, 206-7666, and go to thefreedommonth.com for the schedule of June events.
Thank you so much. Don't forget, tomorrow, Larchmere Arts, 6 p.m., Glenn Holmes Quartet. It's only $12, $THASOULPOET. Thanks to our engineer, Tone, today, and thanks to you for listening. Know yourself. Love yourself.
1490 WERE, Cleveland Heights, WZAK HD3 Cleveland.